And welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Junior Garcia, and here are some of the stories we have for you tonight. Department of Justice presents 2015 budget. Governor holds a special session, and Caribbean National makes baseball history. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8.
TV8 News is brought to you by Total Excellium. More protection, more miles. Total, you know where to turn.
In tonight's top story, Virgin Islands Attorney General Vincent Fraser yesterday presented the Department of Justice $13.6 million general fund budget to the Finance Committee.
The governor has proposed a budget of $19,963,030. 13 million, of which 13,621,823 is from the general fund, $6,341,207 from federal grant funds, and $270,000 from the Special Crime Prevention and Prosecution Fund. Last fiscal year, the Department of Justice had an appropriation from the general fund of $13,295,652. After the allotment cutbacks, we are now operating on an allotted amount of $13,074,279. This amounts to a 4% reduction in the appropriated amount. Notwithstanding the reduction of the appropriated resources, we must carry on our duty. In fiscal year 2015, we submitted a request for the Department of Justice that is less than the current fiscal year, but regardless, we believe that we have no choice but to continue to do the job that the people of the Virgin Islands expect from the Department of Justice. We will endeavor to provide the level of service that the community expects, even with this reduced funding. Other than our prosecution activities, the Department of Justice is an agency that is expected to primarily support the work of other government agencies. We do not have large fleets of vehicles or machinery. The assets that we do have and need more of is people who are necessary to do the work in this department. A staff that is hardworking, dedicated, and imaginative. This is what it takes more than anything else to carry out our mission, which is to pursue justice and protect the interests of the government of the Virgin Islands. In 2007, when this administration took on the helm of the government of the Virgin Islands, there was a strong economy and a solid tax base, which made it possible for us to dream big and plan to take the respective agencies, including the Department of Justice, to great heights to provide services for the people of this territory. However, due to the Great Recession of 2008, we find ourselves continually retrenching and resorting to our core mission as we deliver services to the community. Therefore, within the Department of Justice, we must use the limited funds that are available to us to ensure that we carry out the core mission of the agency. As a result, we have set our strategic goals, which are to provide, to ensure, and to guard justice for the people and the government of the Virgin Islands.
In other news, at the same Finance Committee session, Bureau of Internal Revenue Director Claudette Watson Anderson requested that $1.14 million be reassessed from within the Bureau to cover a variety of urgent expenses.
I'm appearing here today at your invitation to provide testimony in support of the appropriation transfer number 001A-14. Accompanying me today are Ophelia Hector, Human Resources Manager, and Chief Counsel Tamara Parsons Small. Appropriations transfer number 001A-14 seeks to reclassify amounts from personal services and utilities for fiscal year 2014 to categories in which the Bureau has more urgent spending needs. During fiscal year 2014, we have increased our staffing to add personnel in the audit enforcement, delinquent accounts, and returns and processing branches. Job titles for all individuals hired in this fiscal year include either the word revenue or collection. The Bureau is still actively filling vacancies in order to positively affect revenue collections, but there are still some savings that have accrued during this hiring process. The amounts to be transferred pursuant to this request are as follows. From the Director's Office, Personal Services of $325,000 and Utilities of $815,000. These amounts will be transferred to Professional Services. Additional funding is required in this category to facilitate the maintenance contracts on new hardware and applications for the new scanning capabilities for income taxes and excise filings. Communication. Until such time as the Virgin Islands Next Generation Network infrastructure is available and the savings flow through to all stakeholders for less expensive, faster network accessibility, the Bureau has to pay the prevailing market cost for communications and other supporting services that link our offices and provide our employees with the means and methods in which to complete their day-to-day activities.
New tonight, Governor John DeYoung Jr. is calling the 30th legislature into a special emergency session on Wednesday to discuss the serious financial matters facing the territory, including properly funding hospitals on St. Croix and St. Thomas.
The governor has called us into a special session for July 16, 2014. It is my understanding, based on the documents transmitted, that the purpose of this special session is to seek a bond authorization. It appears that the governor is seeking the authorization to borrow up to $50 million for working capital and for some other purposes, as stated in his transmittal. I can say we know that there are some financial challenges existing. There has been some indifferences relative to what we feel as the legislature are the numbers on the books compared to what the government is giving to us. I can say this, however, I might agree that there may be a need to do some borrowing to get us through this fiscal year. What I'm not in agreement with is that we borrow too much to saddle the incoming administration with bond debts, which will not allow them the flexibility to have those monies accessible for their use. As everyone is aware now, I've been talking about this Virgin Islands Infrastructure Reconstruction Plan, which is asking for a debt restructuring. I am hopeful that we can just hold steady through this fiscal year and through this administration and be able to have a debt restructuring and economic stimulus through repairing our infrastructure. And that would take much larger borrowing, but I do believe that it should not occur under this administration. They have done their due, they have done their time, and even if we were to give authorization, the execution of this bond note will not be until later on this year, perhaps sometime after the end of this fiscal year.
We'll bring you updates on the outcome of that meeting when they become available. Moving along, as Channel 8 continues to play a role in combating crime in the territory, here is Ashley Messiah with tonight's Crime Stoppers Report.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ashley Messiah reporting your weekly Crime Stoppers. You, the members of the communities in the Virgin Islands, and Crime Stoppers are a strong crime-fighting team. Help law enforcement control crime. If you know something, say something. The Virgin Islands. If you are a victim of sexual assault or know someone who has been a victim, please report the incident. It doesn't matter if you're a female or a male, you have been harmed. Don't let the perpetrator walk away free and escape punishment against your person. And it doesn't matter if the perpetrator is a male or a female. Sexual assault is a crime. If you know that this type of crime occurred, please report it. Make a difference in our island and send a clear message that the Virgin Islands would not and do not support this type of activity. St. Thomas. On Saturday, July 5th at 2:30 a.m., a man pulled over at Raccoon Hill dumpster to throw out his bottles. A vehicle pulled up adjacent to his vehicle before he was able to get out. Someone in the vehicle fired several shots at him. The victim had to be treated for his injuries. St. John. On July 10th, police responded to a burglary at Combo Smoothie Stand in Estate, Carolina. The business was left locked and secured the night before at 6 o'clock and was discovered broken into the next morning at 8:30. Several items stolen from the business included a stereo, CD player, and several bottles of water. Please tell us or the police what you know about this crime. Speak up. Be a part of the solution. Continue to help make our islands a safer place to live, work, and visit by telling us what you know about these or any other crime. Go online at www.crimestoppersusvi.org or by calling 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. Or you can also text USVI plus your message to crimes at 276437. All three of these methods will keep you anonymous. If your tip leads to an arrest, the recovery of stolen property, illegal drugs, or weapon, you will receive a cash reward to be paid according to your instructions. This is Ashley Messiah, recording your weekly Crime Stoppers for News Channel 8.
And remember, if you see something, say something. Thank you, Ashley. Stay tuned. We have more news right after this.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Welcome back to News Channel 8, and here is Cynthia Graham with your nightly Caribbean report.
Thank you, Junior. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has signed legislation to create an identification card for Caribbean and other immigrants living in the city, including undocumented persons. The new ID cards will be available beginning in January 2015. We're going to make sure that this card brings a lot to the equation, a lot of benefits that will go along with it, said de Blasio, whose wife Charlene traces her roots back to Barbados. The mayor assured undocumented Caribbean applicants that they will not be asked about their immigration status. The bill would allow applicants access to services like opening a bank account or renting an apartment. The Cayman Islands is set to implement its new national conservation law, the British territory announced this week. The territory's Department of Environment said the law will allow the Cayman Islands to protect and conserve endangered, threatened, and endemic plants and their habitats, as well as the variety of wildlife found in the Cayman Islands. The government says it hopes to have the law in full effect by the fall. And finally tonight, through its back-to-school academic scholarship drive, Dominica's Inside Posse Children of Grace Foundation has assisted impoverished children with school supplies for years. Now the foundation needs your help. Each year, the nonprofit charity organization attempts to increase the number of students it assists, setting the 2014 target at 50 children. With a mission to establish a prosperous future for less fortunate and disabled youngsters by providing them with access to education, health care, adequate housing, and other needs, the organization is asking for help from persons far and near to assist them in reaching their 2014 target. If you would like to help, visit the Channel 8 Facebook page at WSVI Channel 8 News for more information. This has been tonight's Caribbean Report. I'm Cynthia Graham. We'll be back here tomorrow to bring you more news and views from in and around the Caribbean. Back to you, Junior.
And thank you, Cynthia. You'd be happy to know that Hovenza has cut 11 cents off the wholesale price of regular and premium gas. While this benefits local gas station operators, it could mean that drivers may see some savings at the pump. The wholesale price of diesel fuel remains unchanged. Under today's adjustments, independent gas station operators in the territory are now paying $3.46 per gallon for regular gasoline, $3.67 per gallon for premium gasoline, and $3.42 per gallon for diesel fuel when they buy their fuel wholesale at Hovenza. Those prices include the 14 cents per gallon tax that Hovenza collects for the government. The rack rates influence retail gasoline prices in the territory because independent gas station operators can buy their gasoline at the loading station, then resell it to their customers. The new rack rates are effective through Sunday. Well, you know, every little bit of savings counts. Stay with us. We have more news straight ahead.
This newscast has been sponsored by Mario's Virgin Crystal. Let us save you the hassle of lugging those jugs around. Purified bottled water conveniently delivered to your home or office. Also available in your favorite grocery store. Call 773-2810.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
And finally tonight, baseball history was recently made by Caribbean national Yoenis Cespedes of Cuba, who is the winner of the 2014 Home Run Derby. Cespedes is only the second player in the history of the game to win back-to-back home run derbies. The first player was Ken Griffey Jr. This clip from ESPN has the details.
On behalf of Commissioner Seelig and everyone at Major League Baseball, I'd like to present this trophy to Yoenis Cespedes, the winner of the 2014 Home Run Derby, and our first back-to-back winner since 98-99.
Yoenis, oh, que no se te caiga. Yoenis, last year you won. How much did you want to win consecutive years? El año pasado ganaste, ganas otra vez. ¿Cuánto querías ganar 2 años consecutivos?
Bueno, me enteré hace poco que hace muchos años que en Griffin Jr. fue el que ganó 2 años consecutivos. Creo que defender hoy el trofeo iba a ser algo muy grande para mí. En el primer round, cuando di solamente 3 jonrones, que logré pasar a la segunda ronda, creo que ahí tuve un respiro y dije, esta es mi oportunidad y voy a ganar el trofeo.
I just discovered recently that Ken Griffey Jr. was the only other person to win consecutive titles, and it was something that I wanted to accomplish, and I was able to get past the first round, which allowed me to kind of breathe and regather myself, and that allowed me to go on and win this title one more time. It seems like when the lights are their brightest, you seem to shine more, whether it be in October in the playoffs or now 2 years in a row in the Home Run Derby. What is it about the bright lights that you like so much? Parece que cada vez que las luces están más brillantes, tú te destacas más. Si es la postemporada durante octubre o ahora aquí con el Home Run Derby, ¿qué es lo que te gusta tanto de las luces?
Bueno, de las luces y también el público. Creo que soy una persona que sé controlarme muy bien y cuando lo necesito y hay bastante bulla, creo que eso me motiva a dar lo mejor de mí y creo que es cuando mejores resultados tengo.
I think that when the lights are their brightest, I know that the public is watching more than ever, and it truly motivates me, and it makes me want to do my best at all times.
Stay with us. We have your weather coming up next.
Your weather coming up next. Your weather.
And here's a look at your local weather.
Tonight, scattered showers, mainly after 8 p.m. Partly cloudy with the low around 71. East wind 14 to 16 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 30%. New precipitation amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch possible. Wednesday, scattered showers, mainly before noon. Mostly sunny with a high near 84. East-southeast wind around 14 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 30%. New precipitation amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch possible. Wednesday night, scattered showers, partly cloudy with the low around 71. East wind around 16 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 30%. New precipitation amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch possible. On Thursday, scattered showers, mainly before noon. Mostly sunny with a high near 89. East wind 14 to 18 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 30%. New precipitation amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch possible. And on Thursday night, isolated showers, partly cloudy with the low around 75. East wind around 17 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 20%. This is Cheryl Francis with your Channel 8 News Weather.
Well, that's all we have for local news. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do not forget to like us on Facebook at WSVI-CH8. Also, follow us on Twitter at WSVI-TV News. And be sure to subscribe to Channel 8 on your YouTube at WSVI-TV News Channel 8. Watch us on your computer, plus use the free Dish Anywhere app to DVR us or see us anywhere in the world on your smartphone or tablet. I'm Junior Garcia, and World News is up next. Good night, Virgin Islands.
TV8 News was brought to you by Total Excellium. More protection, more miles. Total. You know where to turn.